Well, we did the prayers early on. I didn't, not here, in the
meeting room.
Yeah, in the meeting room.
Yes, all right. I'll
if you want more prayers, we go ahead and do.
I can certainly do with,
yes, especially
with more prayers.
Especially you. But, sorry, I would say especially you. You need them some prayers at this moment.
Tell me about it. Yes, let the witness come in.
No, before that, we'll do the prayers.
Okay. Thank you.
Have the floor, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rahman Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Inna siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. ربنا إننا آمنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وقنا عذاب النار الصابرين والصادقين والقانتين والمنفقين والمستغفرون بالإسخار شهد الله أنه لا إله وملائكته وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط لا إله إلا هو العزيز الحكيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا الله
آمين شكرا Imam Jallo. Bishop, you can bless us again, please.
Your Chairman, Lord God Jehovah, the great I am, the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, the supreme ruler of the whole universe. You have ordered everything into being. We call upon your divine throne of grace this morning hour as we continue our TRC sitting. We ask, Lord, for your divine favor to bear upon this commission. And particularly we commit our counsels before you, that you will uphold them, Lord, as they cross-examine the witnesses. That, Lord, you will give them the wisdom and the know-how to be able to conduct the sitting in the most credible manner. And we commit the witness before you, that you will grant the witness the boldness to be able to come here and speak the truth boldly and plainly. And we ask that you grant the commission the discerning spirit to be able to discern between truth and falsehood. And you grant the populace in general the patience to be able to allow the due process to take place to the general satisfaction of all. This we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop Odiko. Council, shall we continue with our proceedings?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, commissioners, and members of the audience. We are ready to proceed, and may I ask that the witness be ushered in. Thank you. Excuse me with the witness. Could you be upstanding, please, for the purposes of the oath?
I, David Colley.
I, David Colley.
Do swear that.
Do swear.
Do swear that.
Do swear that.
I'll speak the truth.
I'll speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
No, nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good afternoon, Mr. Colley.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to the TRRC. My name is Esa Maifal. I am going to assist you today to make your testimony before the commission. I have just met you 2 minutes ago for the first time, and it behooves me to give you the warning that we would ordinarily give to many witnesses who appear before the commission. You have just taken an oath to speak the truth. It is a criminal offense in the laws of this country to lie under oath. It is also an offense to provide false information or false testimony to the TRRC. Do you understand that?
Yes, please.
All right. Today, the commission wants to talk to you as a person who's been adversely mentioned about a lot of things that have happened in the Gambia Prison Service, especially under your charge as Commissioner, Commissioner General, or Director General. Are you prepared to talk about them today? And the topics I would wish to talk about are as follows. The first is the problems in the prisons. Well, we first look at your biography to try to establish who you are as a person, your experiences and so forth. And then we would look into the problems in the Gambia Prison Service or the prison system itself. We would look into the poor and unhygienic conditions of the prisons, the bad food, the causes of beriberi and some of these other diseases, the problems of segregation of prisoners, the issue of overcrowding, and the whole purpose or concept of detention or of imprisonment, or how it is exercised in the Gambia. What are the objectives? Whether is it one of reform or whether is it one of warehousing? We also would like to look at how the prison was used as a tool to punish political opponents. We would like to look at the admissions procedures in the prisons and how certain individuals have been detained in the prisons when they should not have been detained in the prisons. And a corollary to that is the removal of such persons and the procedures that are adopted. We would also look into the suggestions of denial of medical assistance. We would look at torture of inmates, which you might call corporal punishment. We would look at the issue of stealing of rations. We would look at bribery. We would look at the unfair punishment of inmates. We would look at the allegation that the prisoners were once fed with a carrion, that is a dead cow, that wasn't slaughtered. We would also look at unlawful detention of prison officers. We would look at abuse of authority, obviously by you as Director General. We would look at the tribalism which you actually instituted within the prisons. And finally, we would look at the execution of the inmates, the lawfulness or unlawfulness thereof. These are the topics we would want to talk about. Are you ready to talk about them?
Of course.
Good. Mr. Colley, you've been served with a notice of adverse mention, haven't you?
Pardon, sir?
Are you with us?
Yes.
You have been served with a notice of adverse mention.
Obvious.
Yeah. Maybe we should also have Jola interpretation for the benefit of those who are listening at home. I know you are very fluent and proficient in English, but let's have that intermediary Jola interpretation so that those watching from home could hear. If we cannot, I am sorry, I should have made arrangements for Jola interpretation. It's not available. We can have Mandinka interpretation. Can we? Yes, I think Mandinka interpretation is usually a default, so we can have it. Okay, go ahead. So you would allow for the Mandinka interpretation, or both of us would allow for the Mandinka interpretation before we speak. You understand?
But I can speak Mandinka well. I can speak Mandinka well.
Yes. But
I do hear, but
you would listen to the English.
Okay.
And you would respond to me in English.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So the Mandinka interpretation would be for those who are listening at home but cannot speak English. You understand?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, Mr. Commissioner, yes, Commissioner Jallo, it's my fault I did not make arrangements for a Jola interpreter to be available. So we need two, one from English to Jola and another from Jola to English. So that is why, unfortunately, we could not do the Jola.
Yeah,
I should have made arrangements.
Can we proceed,
for that.
please?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you have been served with a notice of adverse mention, correct?
Yes.
Amunta ye safe ka itandila ko ye tokuya kumole foema.
Okay. So we would come to that. For the time being, give us your full names, please.
Bina futa wala ma, me futala wala male. Bari bitun ito fonyeng.
My name is David Charles Colley.
Tom David Charles Colley.
What is your date of birth?
Uluta lunjumale.
The 28th August 1958.
Goskaro Tilmuang Aninsei, 1958 Sangola Wuluda.
Where were you born?
Uluta mintole.
Kanilai village.
Muluda Kanilai Satakono.
And where did you go to school?
Karanta mintole.
I started my primary school in Kanilai.
Nakaramo Kumase Kanilai.
And then proceed my grade 9 in St. Edward Secondary School, Buyam.
Na secondary school grade 9, Mambu Konondingo St. Edward, Buyam Sadoro.
Mr. Witness, during your day, did we have grade 9?
Ila wato, wayata dun grade 9 bekerin na bang?
I don't know what you are saying. As I told you, I'm not familiar with the Manika language.
Yes, but listen to me in English.
Okay. You said?
During your time,
Uh-huh.
did we have grade 9 in the education system in the Gambia?
Of course.
Okay.
Grade 9?
Buyam is a second Christian mission school.
Buyam missionary Catholic Karamolti.
What I know existed was Form something. From primary 6, common entrance, then you go Form 1, secondary school.
That's what I'm saying. After completing my primary school in our village, I start my common entrance, which I was graduated to go to
the whole of Buyam. Kabringan Dumalanga Karamo Nimbang Nasate or Tata Nata Buyam, Ngana secondary school education of the world, Nata grade 9 exam of the world.
So, in essence, you went to Buyam Secondary School.
Munda itata Buyam Secondary Karambungul.
Secondary school.
And secondary school, London Karambungol Kevolto.
And which year did you go to Buyam Secondary School?
Itata Buyam Secondary Karambungul. Sanji Juma?
1970.
1970.
Until when?
What Juma?
Until when?
Buyam 1972.
1972 Buyam.
I was in Buyam.
Then Buyam.
From there, I I proceeded to ATC Lamen.
Ndata ATC Lamen.
Where I was doing my course in agriculture.
Ndata lon karango ke kanje seno kunyalo agriculture.
For a year.
Sanji killing.
From there, we were unable to get our certificates. I went to my family at Banjul. 17 Thompson Street, Alaji Colley.
17 Thompson Street, Alaji Colley.
Seydou Colley.
Seydou Colley.
Thompson.
Thompson.
I was there. Waiting for my luck. So I had an advertisement at the radio that there will be intakes at State Central Prisons as staffs. I went there for selection. Well, I was blessed to be selected. We start our training. If you look at the geography of the Mile 2 prisons, you don't have space for training. My boss, Mil Foster, as the commanding commissioner of prisons,
commanding officer of prisons,
he wrote to the Fajara, that is Mr. Crew, a British.
Mr. Crew, British nation, Banco Dingola Martinu.
Accept us so that we can have space where we can do our courses. Both theory and practical. For 6 months. There was a problem when we completed our courses. We were supposed to go back to prisons. For the commander, Clues, and the Fajara, nice called Fajara Barracks. It was Field Force. Field Force Fajara Barracks. He went and said, I am not coming to the prison. Due to my performance, during my training course, and I was attached to his office as almost an orderly to him. Make sure everything is clean, neat in his office. So when Melfosa asked the rest of the officers who went, he said, where's David Colley? David Colley. He said, well, Clues detained him there. He said, he want him there. So he called. Clues said, I want him to be transferred. But he said, you cannot do that. So there's an argument, bitter argument. So the matter was reported to James Langley, Secretary General during Jawara's regime. You know, in those days, Akus are very strong too. So both of them were summoned to go to State House, including me. So when the matter was reported to former Jawara president, say, I want to both of you to come. So he asked Clues. He said, is this man selected as a field force personnel? He tell him no. He said, then how can we take somebody who's sent there to train? I not the list was not given to you.
For list nyingi mati yalla ba mol tolbe safirin Cairo member fo madi yalla ba.
And David's name was there.
Andunte David kunne on tobe jele.
But why now we want to withdraw him?
Mune ya sabu say Allah ta kata to bondi je.
He said, no, it's not right.
Akoy ko hani o manyang.
Now, in fact, before we move out, he said, where's the office that people are arguing? So they say, let me get up. I stood. Jawara looked at me. He laughed. He said, this small boy you are arguing. He said, well, I told him, well, that's my structure. Yes. He said, no, I'm just teasing. I said, what is your tribe? I said, Jola. Jola from where? From Kanilai. Say, please, clues. Please leave this man to go to prison.
Please, clues. Clues. This
is how I am blessed to join prisons. If not, I would have been in the field force. Because Clues was ready to sponsor me. For me to go to a course. I think I've answered that.
Yes. Thank you very much. The commencement of your career was very, very interesting.
Really?
To have been so important that the president of the country has to come and decide which of the services you join. But you went to the prison service.
Yes,
and what work were you doing when you went to the prison service?
I was posted on general duties.
General duties.
And then?
But I was set separately from Evans. Evans. He loves sports. And I have so many certificates in sports, both football and athletics. But nonetheless, I work up to 12 o'clock. We will send home on break. So by 2, we go on our practice. At the beach side because we have no space. This is how I was lucky.
That was real luck. Not much work to do. And then you ran the bar, the prison's bar, correct?
Pardon?
There was a bar at the Mile 2 prison's headquarters.
Yes, I met it there during British colonial era.
And you are responsible for running the bar.
Yes, Mel opened the bar, and then I was attached there. Somebody was there before, but I mean, he's not satisfied with the appearance of that officer. He said he's not neat. So I was brought in.
What I found extraordinary is that your performances at training were so impressive. 2 sister forces were fighting over you.
Yes.
Prisons won, and all they knew to use your skills for was to send you to be a barkeeper.
Well, he's the command officer. If wherever he posts me, I'll go.
Interesting. So you rose in the prison service until you became Director General.
Yes.
And from your own mouth, according to your statement, you had been fired, rehired, and fired and rehired several times.
Well, that's a tradition to me, created by Allah the Almighty, and I have to take it in good faith.
Or was it something that Yaya Jammeh did to you?
It's the same thing. If in time Jawara's regime, I was a victim during the Eton coup.
Yes, but during Yaya Jammeh's regime, he had fired you several times and rehired you.
Yes, it depends on his information given to him.
This Yaya Jammeh, he also hailed from Kanilai, didn't he?
Yes, he's from Kanilai too.
You knew him?
Of course.
You all had a good relationship, didn't you?
These are young boys whom I've been going with. Traditional wrestling, whatever hunting.
So you are all buddies, if I may call it that. He is your younger brother, you are all buddies.
He's not a real brother to me. He's an uncle to me.
You have family ties, correct? And you are also buddies. You hang out together, do wrestling together. You would occasionally visit one another, correct?
No, we don't wrestle with him. I don't wrestle because I'm older than him. We convey them to their fellow young wrestlers.
Do you remember giving a statement to the commission? I have asked my colleague to assist to provide you with a copy of this statement. You gave a statement, didn't you?
Yes, statement or the Kumakang for Mog.
I think I have this in that. Is it not the same?
Yes, I want to put in the copy you have signed. Could you take a look at it and confirm that that is the statement you've given?
That is all this.
Take a look at the document and confirm whether it is the statement you provided.
Sign.
We paid 9. Can you help me? It's really slippery. Yeah, it's 7. Okay, wait. No, wait. Where's 9? Yeah, that's one.
Mr. Witness, I see that you have meticulously examined the document.
Obvious.
Could you confirm that this is the statement you gave to the TRRC investigators?
Exactly.
Have you verified the signature? It's also yours?
Obvious.
So this is your statement?
It's my statement.
Mr. Chair, we would ask to put the document as an exhibit. It should be 139 if accepted by the commissioners. Mr. Colley.
Mr. Colley.
Yes, I am sure that at the outset you were warned that any false statement that is contained in this statement is also an offense under the law.
Yes.
And when you were making this statement, you were fully aware that anything that you state that is false in this statement, you are actually violating the law.
Yes.
Good. And when you are making this statement, you are also warned about the allegations, adverse allegations that have been made against you.
Yes. Yeah.
And you made your statement in response to those allegations, or you made the statement bearing in mind the allegations that have been made against you.
Yes.
Good. Thank you very much. So, in proceeding with your testimony, wherever we have to deal with the allegations against you, I would refresh your mind to them.
Okay.
The first thing I would want you to talk about now is the poor and unhygienic conditions in Mile 2 prisons, or in the prison system in general. As Director General of the Prisons Service, you have run an outfit that was not fit for purpose, that was not fit for human habitation. What do you say to that?
Well, when I came to the prisons and served as a staff, I made the condition built in that form. And my successor bosses were coping with that system over there. And I'm very interested for the job. And I'm too junior. And I don't know the laws that much to challenge my bosses.
Mr. Witness, I'm not so concerned about when you were a junior officer. And I am not so concerned with that period when you did not know the law. In fact, speaking to people who work in the prisons, you are hailed as the person who is very knowledgeable about the prison's law. Is that in fact true? You're very knowledgeable about the prison law nowadays.
Obvious.
In fact, you would be the biggest expert at the prison system on the prison's law in the Gambia.
Obvious.
So during your time as Director General, lack of knowledge of the prison law would not apply to you.
Director General yala woto kafoko imanyi londi soto kasola luala karola wotetela karola.
Because you knew it very well and better than everybody else. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So and we are now talking about this period when you knew the law very well. And you were the head of the Gambia Prison Service. So the suggestion is, during that period, you presided over a prison system that was not fit for purpose. It was not fit for human beings to be put in that place. In fact, I have here the statement of Amadou Skatred Jane. And he described the prison as the worst prison in the world. As Director General of the Prison Service, what do you say to this charge?
Well, as I said earlier, these structures were there by the British colonial era. And when I was enrolled as a prison officer, I met the same system.
So you carried on with that system?
Of course.
Knowing fully well that that system was a rotten system.
But the government knew about it. They've seen the structures. At one time, when Tambiru came there with my Fati, he was pointing the cell he was put in. These structures are no good. I told Tambiru, from your cell, next cell, I was there too. So whom to be blamed?
It was never your plan to be there, was it? It was never your plan to be there.
To be there? Well, no, I was not dreaming of it. But the law was against me. And I was arrested and put there.
Mr. Colley, the issue here is
Mr. Colley, ko momenti jang
that you are directly responsible for prison administration.
So sambanya kunya bebe tele buloko.
Obvious.
And you are responsible for presiding or managing a system that was rotten to the core.
Bitung itele na takemoti membe shirim bunda kuna me yalanko jele tolita dula beti.
What do you say to that?
Do
you agree or you don't agree?
Sonta foi mansong.
I agree the situation is so tight. That's why I put up a recommendation from my ministry. Who came and visited the prisons. When he went back to his office, he met his colleague at the cabinet meeting. That the place is overcrowded. So we prepare to extend the prison. So they asked me whether I've identified an area for that. I told him, Joshua, you have enough land. Joshua prison. So which the funds we are given to was embossed to the ministry. And then the ministry were taking care of procedure. Ministry tender it. They gave it to gum work. Gum work the cost price. Gum works la depends on member jarela do ko nyinto. Government said they cannot afford that. Mansakunda na foko ito kumbanola. They said they asked me whether I can take up the project. Because we have a prison maintenance team. I told him we can do it. We started the project. Unfortunately, it couldn't complete it. Based on funds coming.
So in a sense, you're telling us that you made an effort to deal with the overcrowding in the prisons.
Obvious.
And you know that overcrowding is a serious problem in the prisons.
Obvious. Even at home.
Let's focus on the prisons.
Of course. Okay.
And you know that it was your responsibility as Director General of the prisons to keep the prisoners in humane conditions. Correct?
Yes. Let me come in. The duty of a prison officer is to look prisoners with humanity and law abiding. That's why I propose so that they can fund the project at Joshua. Where it can ease the living condition of prisoners.
You have said that.
Yes.
Right? But did you realize that your prisoners were sleeping in toilets?
Yes, this was there before me.
Those who were there before you would answer for their time. But you sitting here now, you answer for your time.
I'm just telling you what I met there. It doesn't mean that we are talking of them.
When those people come, they would answer for their time. Now you answer for your time. What you have presided over, what you are making happen, that's what we are talking about. You let prisoners sleep in toilets, knowingly.
niwol nata be tafalale ite la wato fo ya longo mo ko kasolan ko lu kela kamo kono andu yetuji.
Yes, it's happening.
Yes, ha be kerin nenu.
We are talking about your time. It was happening during your time, correct?
Obvious.
And you know that that is unlawful.
Well, I can't help.
That is what you think you can help.
Yeah, if it's my duty, can I come in? It is my duty, that's why I took up the responsibility of meeting the minister. So that government can provide funds.
When that project failed, what did you do to ensure that prisoners are no longer sleeping in toilets?
That's why I'm coming. It was Bojang. Commissioner at CRR, Joytan. He was the man in charge as a minister. When Masan Sisi was moved out, so I took up that responsibilities and invited the minister. So he said, wait, I heard what you said. Now let me invite government. GPP, Nana, an independent doctor, including government doctors, to come with the prison visiting committee.
Prison council committee.
We came to a discussion.
About what?
About the living condition of prisoners in overcrowding. So we visited the prisons and I showed them all the facilities and the living condition of prisoners. So among them, each take a note of it. We came back to my office at the hall. We discussed the issue. They put up a recommendation, handed it to him. He took it to the high authorities. At the time, government gave funds. Listen, let me learn.
Let me say this. You are still talking about this whole arrangement when government decided to give you this project.
That was not an all agreement because I came up with it. Proposal.
In effect, you're telling us what you told us already.
Yes.
Okay. So let's try not to repeat ourselves. Apart from that effort, what did you do to ensure that the prisoners were not sleeping in toilets?
When these funds came, we started concreting the slab. Wall. Because people were sleeping underneath like this. The timbers was moved out. And then we start concreting. They bought the mattress and blankets.
Mr. Witness, with all that, the prison was still overcrowded. People were still sleeping in toilets. So the question I ask is, what have you done to prevent prisoners from sleeping in toilets?
That's why I came up with this project at Joshua. But because the process of getting money from the government, it doesn't take 1 second.
I understand that. You have made an effort with the government to get money. You are given a project, that project failed, correct?
Yes.
Apart from that failed project, did you as Director General do anything else? To ensure that prisoners would no longer sleep in toilets?
When I was on the project at Joshua, coincided with this this election, general election. So we were waiting. If the election is over, we started with the project. But unfortunately, my service was terminated. So I couldn't do anything.
This was January 2017.
Yes.
January 2017.
So all throughout Jammeh's days, the prison was overcrowded. Nothing was done to solve that problem. Prisoners were sleeping in toilets. That's true or that's false?
Yes. That's why we took up these projects too. Improve the place.
I know you are very familiar with the prison law. Did you consider the possibilities of applying Section 4 of the Prison Act? Which gives you the power, subject to the approval of the minister, to just designate temporary prisons.
I think we are repeating the same effort that I've done with myself and the minister. Funds don't seem come nowhere beside the government. Because this is a state prison, not a private prison.
I'm not talking about private prisons. What I am saying is, did you consider the possibility of establishing temporary prisons according to Section 4 of the Act in order to enable you to deal with that problem?
That's why that project Joshua was created. Because prison is not a place where you can put a temporary prison. You have to look at the security aspect of the place. So the only area where we can have it is Joshua, and which the government have taken up the responsibility in building.
Are you serious about this statement?
Obvious.
Are you really serious about this statement?
Obvious. That's why there's no other place where you can build beside a prison.
You see, Mr. Colley.
Mr. Colley,
it looks to me like no serious thought was put to this. Because if you look at the Act, this is what it says. When it appears to the commissioner that the number of prisoners in any prison is greater than can be conveniently kept in the prison,
nin commissioner tata je ko kasolan kolu yirko tata siya hanfo ite kunna kasokono,
and that it is not convenient to transfer the excess number to some other prison,
aduate sono yala kay sawundi kata kaso do la ke sambawoto,
or when there is an outbreak of diseases,
wala ninjan karo nata finti me ya lonka janjanta,
you can provide temporary shelter of prisoners in some other location.
Si kasolankolu samba dinkira doto isitara no dame wuche.
You did not necessarily have to build a new facility.
Manjare fang purka dinkira kutolo na kitawonya.
You could have taken some place in the army, in the military barracks.
Isi dinkira do tale no sojaro la kordato.
You could have taken some unused government installation. All you needed to do is provide security to ensure that there won't be any easy escape. Tell us honestly, did you and the state authorities put their minds to this solution that is contained in the act?
See, we are coming to the same topic. Anything that I do, the minister should be informed.
Could you just answer the question? Did you cast your mind to the solution provided by this section, or you did not?
I did report the matter to the ministry. Because I cannot do anything without the knowledge of the minister.
We agree to that. But the question is, did you cast your mind to using any place in Gambia as a temporary prison in order to solve this problem?
The two established prisons, that is Janjamur and Joswang, there's a limit.
We are not talking about that.
No, I'm coming.
The question,
when you come to Josan too.
No, Mr. Witness, just answer the question. Did you cast your mind to Section 4 as a solution, or you did not?
Section 4. I inform my ministry.
The question is, did you cast your mind to Section 4 in order to find a solution, or you did not?
If whereby I cast my mind proposing this, you have to go back to the ministry. I don't do things of my own.
I take it that you did not.
Yeah.
You agree you did not.
No, I did, because that's why I said let's build a new site at Joswang.
I'll just move on to something else.
Okay.
Apart from the overcrowding, the prisons in Mile 2 is very dirty.
Yes?
What do you say to that?
We have a prisoner who do clean.
Mr. Witness, I've just been advised that we are not giving enough opportunity to the interpreters. So we should allow 3 seconds between our speeches and that of the interpreters, such that the speeches would not overlap. You understand? Okay. So when you speak, the interpreter would allow 3 seconds between your speech and his. All right? You also do the same, all right?
Okay.
Okay. Proceed, please. I was saying that the Mile 2 prison was very filthy during your time as DG.
We have prisoners selected to be doing general cleaning inside the main yard. Responsible for that.
That does not change the fact that the prisons was very filthy. What do you say to that?
It cannot be changed because the gutters are there. And that's, every day that's where they clean. There's no other new gutter that
we know the building is old.
Yes.
But wasn't this really a case of neglect by the administration, not caring too much how the prisoners lived in those cells? Because if you are really interested in ensuring that the place was clean, you basically had free labor to have it cleaned.
do kuwa be bulu jorite da men pour ka je senayandi
But the place remained filthy throughout
dinkira tutal norin ne wato be
because you neglected it.
because yenya le kasjela.
See, the word neglected, I mean, I'm not the least impressed on that. Because you have prisoners who are selected to be doing cleaning gutters inside the yard. So you have officers there. If these people not do their job, let them force them to do their job. I cannot be leaving my office, crossing the highway all the time to be going inspecting these things. They are there for that.
But you agree that the prisons was filthy.
No, I agree. That's why we have the prisoners who do clean.
And the ultimate responsibility for ensuring that it was clean rested with you, correct?
I mean, if the officer in charge on duty, he's my responsible for that. I'm so much busy in administration somewhere else again.
Do you
the job of a prison officer is not one person's show.
I will note that what you've just said, it's not a one-person show. But we would come to that later. Do you agree that ultimately you are responsible for ensuring that the prison was a clean place for prisoners to inhabit?
Obvious, I'm the head.
But you agree that the prisons during your tenure was a filthy place.
Well, in my time, I don't believe that.
You said a little while ago.
When you go to the new complex building, that new office, if I should tell you the donor that supported me to build that office, and the place is always neat.
Let us focus.
We have prisoners coming across to come and clean that place too.
You managed to keep your own place clean by using prisoner labor, correct?
Yes.
But you left the prisons itself filthy.
That's why you have the command officers there responsible.
Mr. Colley, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot say that you are ultimately responsible and turn around and say you are not responsible and deflect responsibility to some other junior officer. You are responsible for ensuring that the prison itself is clean, like you are responsible for ensuring that the staff quarters was clean. Do you agree with that?
Obvious.
The charge is the prison was left filthy and you are responsible for ensuring it to be clean.
I agree that it's filthy, but one person cannot take up the responsibility.
Allow the interpreter. Huh?
Okay, sorry.
Yes, but you see, in administration, we are not really interested in whether there were other intermediate.
Your measures of food given to you. Within that time, like the cooking store will send it, the dry food to the kitchen. Within that interim, or lately, you have bunch of arrested prisoners. Already the measures, food measure for each prisoner is already in the cooking center. So when these people come in, What will you do to them? That's why I say, I don't know, in Europe, or Africa, I visited so many countries. No prisoner is, no prison inmate is well fed. Simply because the quantity, you have arrivals coming in, they have to eat.
That's your excuse? That's your explanation?
Because you cannot bring the police or whoever, security agent cannot bring a prisoner on the remand or on the detention. You deprive him from eating.
Mr. What we are saying is that the food was bad. It was not fit for human consumption.
When the cooking is done by the prisoners, not an outsider. So this was long been running in the prisons.
Can you answer the question? The question is, the food was terrible. It was not fit for human consumption. Do you agree?
The cooks, if the cooks are cooking, and sometimes the number of inmates inside the prison, if it is too many, you find it very difficult for them to cook the best food.
Mr. Chair, perhaps I need the intervention of the Commission to get the witness to answer my questions. The question is simple. Is the food good? Is it fit for human consumption? The answer is a yes or a no. When it comes to...
It's good for them because they are eating.
Well, let me inform you that we have received testimony from a lot of witnesses. And no single person has said that the food is good. Except you.
No, it's left to them for them to criticize. But this government institution, the cooks are trained by themselves, prisoners.
Don't you find a problem with that? That people who are not trained chefs, they don't know anything about cooking, are just randomly picked up from the inmates, brought into the kitchen and showed how they do what they do. Don't you, as a seasoned prison administrator, don't you find that problematic?
Obvious.
What is obvious?
Eh?
What is obvious?
That is, we don't have qualified cooks coming outside to come and cook for the prisoners. And what we normally do, sometimes you have experienced cooks who are being convicted from the hotel or wherever.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we bring them to the system.
Sometimes.
Yes. Because why I say sometimes? Because they are going to discharge.
The bottom line.
So they train, when they are there, they train others.
The bottom line is, you don't have qualified people cooking for prisoners. Is that the truth?
Well, I don't eat that food, so I will not know whether the food is good or not, because by seeing the cooking pots, it looks very attractive. Whether it's tasteful or not tasteful.
Perhaps the problem is because you never ate the food.
But that's not my role.
And you did not care.
Not question of I don't care. I care because I make sure government supply food for the prisoners. But when it comes to the cooking center, everybody knows that male prisoners cook for themselves.
Look, David, when we are talking about something, focus on that something and stop jumping from issue to issue to issue to issue. Because if you do that, we would never finish your testimony. So let's be disciplined. Huh?
Yeah.
You said the food looked attractive. But does quality of food depend on how it looked?
Based on what is supplied to them.
So are you suggesting to us that all those who have testified before this commission and said that the food was horrible, that they are lying?
I will not argue
with them.
So you agree therefore that the food was horrible?
That's what they said.
Well, let me ask you, you were incarcerated at Mile 2.
Yes?
Did you eat the food?
Obvious. I was eating the food.
Was it palatable?
Of course, to me. I have to take it that way. Because you cannot.
The question is,
yes, it's good for me.
Palatable?
It's good for me because I came out and I didn't die.
And because you didn't die, it was good.
Obvious, because I was a prisoner like them too.
So the test that the food is good is because you did not die.
Of course, I can say so.
Well, I can tell you that many people died.
Many people died based on the primary cause of their death.
And what we have here is that the food lacked nutrition. And because it lacked nutrition, a lot of people contracted diseases and died as a result.
What
do you say to that?
Well, I'm not a doctor. But all I know is Nana provided a menu. And we are using that to guide us.
Yes, but a menu does not save anybody from dying of bad food.
Well, I don't know.
Did you in fact care that prisoners were dying of the poor diet you were serving them at Mile 2?
I've never received from a doctor the primary cause of bad food for a prisoner who died. I don't know.
Are you serious, David?
I didn't see that. Because any cause of any primary cause of death of a prisoner, we write a covering letter to the ministry.
Let's not talk about procedures yet.
Okay.
Let's talk about what you know. Are you telling this commission you do not know that prisoners were dying because of the poor food?
No, I never noticed that. And I was not being informed about that. Because I cannot be a commanding officer in that place, manning the prisoners, human being like me, and I allow such things to happen. Commanding officer that's why I invited.
Have you heard of Berry?
Berry, yes. Because any prisoner who died, I have the primary cause of his death from a doctor.
Were prisoners dying of Berry?
Not all. Not all died of beriberi.
Bela saya buku sababu beriberi la.
But would you agree that many died of beriberi?
No, not to my knowledge, because I do have, if the records are here, I will go into to find out whether beriberi is more harm than oral infection. Prisoners who died.
But
that is not important. What is important here is that your inmates were dying of beriberi, which is as a result of the poor food.
It can happen. But I'm not an expert.
Mr. Colley, you are hiding behind this statement, I am not an expert. But everybody who has been an inmate in Mile 2 or has worked in the prison system knows about beriberi. Every single person.
I know that. When I was there too, beriberi was running.
Bari meo be kasola bebe nyina fokanko beriberi mu jankarle time yalonko fenda mem yalonko domori kende bali yale ya sabu.
And what was giving them beriberi?
Well, I repeat back, I'm not a doctor. And I was there for 3 months, eating the same food like them.
But you worked in the prison systems for over 30 years?
Yes.
And beriberi is not a new disease in the prisons?
Obvious.
And everybody knows that beriberi was caused by the bad food.
Well, as I said, I'm not an expert, but we know that there's beriberi prisoners who died.
You are hiding these facts because you want to save your skin, isn't it?
I'm not into hide.
Let me refer you to page 6 of your statement. Page 6 of your statement. Can you read out paragraph 11? Could you read out paragraph 11?
Yes, I said we always go according to the menu.
Could you read out paragraph 11?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Yes.
And we are guided by the logbook.
No, read paragraph 14. Paragraph 14, starting from the second sentence, the case of the so-called beriberi. Paragraph 14, page 6. Second line. Page 6. Page 6, paragraph 14.
Page 14 or paragraph?
Page 6. Paragraph 14. Second sentence. Starting with the words, the case of the so-called beriberi. Could you read it out, please?
The case of so-called beriberi illness resulted from bug infestation within the prison cells.
That is your statement, correct?
Yes.
Isn't that obviously false?
Yes, I said it. But what I'm saying,
But isn't this statement false?
it's not his fault.
So you want this commission to believe that people were sustaining beriberi because of bug infestations in the cells?
Molu be nyim beri beri jankaro soto kan katu tumbolu wala dabolu wolle be selolu kono.
That is what you want the commission to believe?
No, I didn't say so. What I said here is, now let me come in. What I said here, very can be there. Doctors normally give the cause of primary cause of that death. Very. You have high blood. Malaria.
Can you be disciplined and answer the question? In your statement, you said that beriberi resulted from bug infestations within the cells.
Yes.
Is that not a false statement?
No, it's not a false statement.
So you want the commission to believe that prisoners were sustaining beriberi because of bugs in their cells?
Not all of them. Not all of them. Not all of them.
So you're telling us that bugs were causing beriberi?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I hear what you are saying. Not all of them. Not all of them.
Well, Mr. Chair, convenient time to take a break.
But before we do that, can you read that sentence that you just referred to in paragraph 14? Didn't quite get the witnesses reading of it, just for the record, so it'd be clear to us what exactly it says. Please go ahead. And then.
He says, and I quote, "The case of the so-called beriberi illness resulted from bug infestations in the prison cells."
Not from food that they ate.
Yes, obviously.
Witness, is that your statement?
Yes, I said. Can I repeat back? I said, go. Infection in the prisons, very. It's happening, but not all. And they all live in the same condition there. Some are suffering from different infection.
Thank you. You have a three-way intervention going on. Just to help the interpreters, when you have counsel speaking, you have witness speaking, you have interpreters doing that. All three can't speak at the same time. And it was difficult at some point to understand who was saying what. So when we come back from the lunch break, if we can just have a little bit of discipline on that particular point. Fine. We will take a 1 hour break and then come back at 2:30, 2:35. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Can I get up?